All right, so now we'll start to work on the lettering of the Finger Lakes 2004, and we want to find basically where the lightning stripe goes, and kind of goes right about tiny bit below the height of the nose. So if we measure it from the rail, that's, you know, a little bit less than 2 inches. And it kind of continues across. You want to make it nice and straight. Basically continues all the way across the engine until just before the back, right about here. Then it dips down, just characteristic of the New York Central lightning stripe. And then kind of want to get then to measure the height of the lightning stripe. The bottom of it lines up with the battery box, so that same notch kind of comes up. So right there, that notch coming up and the notch coming down, that kind of establishes that it's a little bit less than a half an inch across. And the one thing you'll see is it doesn't go across the cab, which again, very characteristic. Finger Lakes did a very good job of keeping the New York Central lightning stripe paint scheme true. Got to give them a lot of credit for that. It looks great pulling their dinner train. All right, and then there's a white inner line. And one thing about the lightning stripe logo is where it kind of tapers in the back, especially on the tapered part. You kind of want to maybe make it as thick as you can, where it wraps around the nose on the back and the front, the nose up here. Because getting the two stripes lined up can be a little bit challenging. There we go. Get these. Basically have the lightning stripe on there now, and right Finger Lakes Railway. And good thing about this is you can kind of get started writing Finger Lakes Railway, and it's fairly forgiving in the sense that you want it to be in the basic spot where it needs to go, but it's not going to run into any grill. It's not going to run into, so this is actually a pretty good engine to practice on. And if you do need to make the letters, their lettering's fairly small, so if you need to make it the tiniest bit bigger in practicing, feel free to do that. And their fonts, definitely the New York Central. Very true rendition of New York Central lightning strike locomotives. Up there in New York State, where the Finger Lakes Railway runs its dinner train and provides first mile, last mile rail service. Okay, we have Finger Lakes Railway written on there, and then we want to put the 2004 on the cab. And here, as I've said before, it doesn't hurt to do let's do the two middle zeros. And even the 4 maybe. And the 2. All right, there's the 2. And then it just, the initials of Finger Lakes Railway go underneath. And then 2004 and the number board. And the back number board. And the Finger Lakes logo, which, as I've said, just you can just use ghost letters in that because it's just, you mainly want to give the hint that, especially since it wraps around in it. But there we go. Okay. Oh, and then we also want to, here, let's put the F. And then we want to put the reflectors, the safety reflectors on the locomotive. All right, so a couple more here. All right, so we'll be ready to put the gray on the locomotive and trim it.